Hello team, welcome back to Next Level JJ. Hopefully you're doing really well and I'm doing fantastic. Good to have you guys here for the day. Today we are definitely taking things to the next level. Maybe something like roughly about 25,000 feet. So obviously, as the thumbnail and the title describes, today I'm taking DCS Digital Combat Simulator. We're taking an F14 Tomcat, and we're going to do probably one of the hardest things when it comes to aviation, and that is mid-air refueling at, as I mentioned, 25,000 feet. So very, very exciting times. But first and foremost, always got to drop in a little chat in there, team. So don't be shy when you join the stream. Say hello, say something, ask some questions. You know, I'd love to hear from you. It's a big part of this channel for us, is to grow a community, to grow something where people are playing together. You know, in some of my other streams that I've been doing, I've been able to actually play with some of the people in my chat. And I think a big thing about DCS is that is the same. You know, DCS is a massive multiplayer game, to the point where even the F14 Tomcat that I'm flying now, you can actually have two people in it at the same time operating, the person in the back being referred to as a Rio. Now, of course, if you want to learn a little bit about me or this channel or see some of the stuff we've done in the past, don't be shy. Head over to nextleveljj.com. My schedule's there, my top 100's there, but obviously links to my socials and things like that. Now, another thing that is quite important to me is the Twitch side of things. So Twitch, until you become an affiliate, you have to stream at a lower rate and you can't upload any videos. And so I'm being held back basically by the low amount of followers I have. So if you're on Twitch, do me a massive favor, give us a follow. I promise you in the years to come, those first group of followers will be treated like absolute heroes. So be part of something that starts small and we take things to the next level and it becomes huge. Now, maybe if we just pop over to my schedule for a second, just want to show you what's going on in the next couple of days. So yes, today is all about filling her up, but tomorrow I'm going to be doing the Spa 24-hour race in 30 minutes. So we set Assetto Corsa Evo's time to 48 times, and so it takes me 30 minutes to go through a 24-hour cycle. So just a 30-minute race, but exciting, being able to see how it goes from afternoon to evening to morning to day to afternoon and so forth. So yeah, feel free to tune in for that. And then on Sunday we're gonna just take things nice and easy, and we're just going to play a bit of Rust, though I'm gonna put a bit of a spin on it. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to also try and do everything at night. You know, usually you focus on doing stuff in the day. I want to challenge myself. That's the whole point of this channel, and so we will do things at night. Now, a key thing here is when you look at those times are all based in New Zealand, but if you open up the actual event, you'll see it does say here it breaks down all the time zones. But of course, on things like YouTube, and when I officially become a Twitch affiliate, I can schedule my streams and then you'll be able to see the time live within your view. Now, as mentioned, key thing we're going to be doing today is flying DCS, as you can see behind me, taking the Tomcat and trying to connect up to a basket. Now, these things are hard. You know, it's DCS is a lot of fun and important. If you don't know what DCS is, Digital Combat Simulator, it is a free, yes, free simulation tool that you can go and download, and you even get 2 free jets with it. All right. But what happens is when you want to then purchase jets that you like, for instance, the Tomcat or F-16 or things like that, you can actually do a bit of a trial of it on some of the jets. And so you can just live your dreams. You know, if you're a big fan of, say, Top Gun, then, you know, a lot of the jets in Top Gun, yes, even the MiGs, you can get them in DCS. Now, the skill that you require to play DCS ranges from basically, I have no idea what to do, all the way to actual fighter pilots using this to keep themselves sharp when they're not on duty. And so what happens here is this DCS, you can flip settings. It makes it super easy to fly. You know, so if you want to enjoy it, you know, leaning more towards an ace combat than, you know, hardcore simulation, you can do that. So you really can have a lot of fun, you know, sitting in a P-51 Mustang and following the process of starting up that old engine is amazing. But then, of course, it can go all the way through to full simulation. And that is the goal for this series, if we want to call it that. So my dream is to take a Tomcat, start it, which I did a whole episode on. It's not as easy and straightforward as you'd think. Hook it up to the catapult on a carrier, launch it. Then we will, as we're going to do today and practice today, is go and actually get fuel in air. So we will be plugging a basket and taking on fuel midair. And then obviously from there, we're going to do a bombing run. So that won't be today. That'll be in our next. And then after bombing run, there's going to be air-to-air combat. And then it all finishes up with a sunrise landing on the carrier. So this is a very challenging end-to-end mission that I'm going to be doing in step by step. But important, I am an amateur 100%, and so I am off air taking a lot of effort into setting up the missions, learning things, and so forth. And so one of the things that is instrumental, and before I move, I have to shout out Stream Beats by Harris Heller. You can see them. They're on your right side of your screen. They're on Spotify. They're amazing. They have such a variety of albums. Please go and check them out. They make my channels sound better, which is a win. And of course, very importantly, if you're enjoying this, like it. Please, that makes a huge difference. If you want to see more of this or some other content, firstly, drop a comment. Tell me what you'd like to see me play. I'm very open to all games. I'm actually evaluating potentially playing, some much older games, like even like Castlevania Symphony of the Night is on my card. So it varies. So love to hear from you in the comments. But also, please, if you're interested, give us a follow, give us a subscription. It can make the world of difference. But if you want to join our community, easiest thing is just head over to my website, click on the Discord link, go and chuck yourself in there. We treat everybody as communities, but then we break them up into sections. I like playing Rocket League. Great, let's create a group, and then we schedule times. We come together on stream, have a ball. I like DCS. Cool, we create a group for that. We schedule times to go and fly together. So I want to hear from you. Anyways, back to what I was talking about is how do I learn all of these things. Now, DCS has got tutorials in it that are really, really good, but every tutorial starts basically with you've read the manual. Now, my first couple of streams, I did not read the manual, and that made it a little bit tricky, I'm not gonna lie, but regardless, we got there in the end. But all you have to do, and it's linked in the description as well, head over to chucksguides.com. This has been instrumental in me learning how to operate this jet. I suspect there are many other guides out there. And of course, you can also use NATOPS, if I think that's the right term. It's the official manual on how to operate a specific airplane. But this is obviously focused on DCS, and so it helps you. It's got keybinds. It also dumbs things down a little bit because I understand that people are going to read this, like myself, that are an amateur that just wants to take things to the next level. And I say this in all my streams, guys and girls, look at the beautiful imagery that they use. This is as much a beautiful magazine to just suck in the most beautiful shots of each type of jet for different guides. But of course, it references really important information. Now, you look at this and you go, whoa, that's information overload. That's probably because you're like me, you're a new person to this. Trust me, as you start reading it, it becomes easy to consume. And when you've read this, not necessarily end to end, but if you've read the beginning, you have a good idea of the jet, where roughly things are, that will really put you forward a lot. But you can just simply click on the side here and you can have a look and see what you're doing. Now, what we're going to be doing tonight is air-to-air refueling. And so this for me is, I think I even posted it in the comment section. It's hilarious, okay? Have a look at this. Air-to-air refueling, and let me zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. Air-to-air refueling, let me highlight the text as well, and not that the highlight is the best, but air-to-air refueling is one of the hardest, most hated, and most frustrating tasks in DCS ever of all time. And so if you think about that, if DCS is about as real as it can get, then this is obviously one of the hardest things to do in aviation. Because remember, you as a fighter pilot, you have to be able to refuel midair. You can't just fly from your airstrip across the Atlantic, go drop bombs, and then fly back. Some missions, especially the hardcore ones with the stealth bombers, they have like 10 like refuelings there and back in total, and so it's a key component. And what I've seen, and I think they mentioned it here, a lot of people try to just skip this. So when they're playing missions, they just want to skip air-to-air fueling. I've seen that people get comfortable with it, but you have to put in the elbow grease. You have to do it over and over. You have to ensure your configurations is right. And you know, it's like anything, you know, any sport, some of the parts that are hard, the only way you're going to get through it is not with talent, it's with practice. And so that is the thing we are doing. But I thought this is also important to just show here. So why it's hard, if you look at this airplane here flying through some red smoke, you'll see that the wing tips and of course the wings itself, they create these vortices, and these vortices make it really hard to keep a plane dead still. You'll see when I fly the Tomcat and I trim her correctly, she just cruises beautifully straight. But the moment I start getting, especially in the middle behind the tanker in front of me, she starts to bob and weave. And so that's going to be the hard part. There's so many things. There's not a guarantee that the stream I'll even plug it. You know, I've basically had to go and set up the images for this. And so I've got a bit of experience rendezvousing with the tanker, but nothing of successfully refueling. And so we're going to do this on air and hopefully get there. Yeah. What do they say? Unfortunately, wake turbulence is something a pilot has to deal with during their air-to-air refueling. This is why aircraft will fly fine when approaching the tanker, but start wobbling. So there it is, team. And so again, this Chuck's guides, I've gone through it and I've read every page. What we're going to be doing tonight is what's referred to as a probe and drogue. A probe and drogue refueling, which means that there is a basket on a long cable or pipe, maybe if you want to refer to it as that, that's hanging off the plane, and then I'm going to go and plug into that. It sort of moves around as well, so that's making it really hard. The more sort of modern ways of doing this with a refueling boom, which is something that actually gets flown by the person on the tanker, and it makes it a little bit more stable and so forth. Obviously things have moved. What we're going to be tanking with is a KC-135 MPRS. We can use smaller airplanes like the KC-130 and even the S-3B Viking, but the reason why I'm using the KC is just because it looks freaking awesome. Then moving down, again, I'm not going to read all of this. You would definitely want to do this if you want to do refueling, and so it just explains to you step by step. And so what happens is we will come into the plane on its left hand side, indicate that we're ready to refuel, and then we will move into the refueling area and we'll fuel on the left. And should, again, this is not a guarantee I'll be successful today, once we've refueled, we will slowly decelerate and then back off to the right to reform. The key thing here is if there are two jets refueling at the same time, the person on the right side will come in first, and then the person next to them will come in on the left. You'll have left and right refueling, and then I assume that if the right person is slower than the left, the person on the left would dip down underneath, reform in the reform area before we go. And so there's so many tips in here, like explaining how to keep things calm. A key thing as well is don't do multiple inputs at the same time. Don't throttle up a lot and then wait for it, because throttle takes some time. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, some of you might be asking, what am I using today to do this flying? I started my own channel and everything very low budget. So gaming laptop with a 4050 graphics card. Let me be clear, that is not the lowest quality, but for running an entire stream and trying to run games in good quality, it's at a entry level, I would say. But the same with my gear, and my gear regarding my flight sticks and so forth. And so, of course, you can spend tens of thousands of dollars on flight simulation equipment, but I've simply got the Thrustmaster T16000M FCS HOTAS. As you can see, joystick with buttons, you'll need them, throttle with buttons, and both of these actually have the ability for you to do rudder inputs, but I put my rudder on my fingers. You can, however, go one step higher, and you can get one that includes a pedal set as well. I will buy that at some point. For me, it was just the cost of entry for this was a little bit higher than I wanted to invest at that point. So go and check it out. I think from an entry-level perspective, this is all you need. And then, as mentioned, I use Chuck guides, but what I've said in previous streams I think is important for you is when you want to commit stuff to memory, if you just read it, it can be that it remembers some stuff, but most people remember well by duplicating it. So that means writing it down or typing it in, or at least copy and pasting it in and thinking about it. And so what I do to make it easy while I'm flying my missions is I've got a simple setup here. And so as you can see, I've just gone through here. By the way, I did put this in there just in case you have a question of what is an MPRS, multi-point refueling system. So it means 2 planes or maybe more can refuel at the same time. But yeah, so basically I've just made a simple checklist of how to get there. Now, versus landing a jet and starting a jet, this is a very simple checklist. Eventually, the mission that I've created to do this is actually a follow-on from every mission I've done so far. And so I'm slowly but surely learning how to use the mission editor, which is really good, but I'm using that to build out the scenarios that I want to practice. And then slowly but surely I'll start stringing these together. So then I'll start it, launch it, refuel, land it, then I'll do that and include a bombing, and then I'll include air-to-air. And so it's this learning how to use the mission editor at the same time as learning how to fly those missions. So very, very cool. So yeah, I'll be using this on the side. And then I don't have it on screen now, but I have a little image just showing what are the button configurations I am running. Okay, team, so I think without further ado, we'll get into old DCS and we'll give this a go. All right, so let's just go down here. Excellent. Perfect timing. Spotify is just going to slowly calm itself down, and then we will go into internal audio. Now, today, how I've set this mission up is very simple. We are going to immediately catapult off. One of the reasons why we want to do refueling as part of this bigger mission is because my goal is to achieve the flat out acceleration that this Tomcat can get to the target to do a very quick bombing run. And so the idea is they would have launched the refueling aircraft ahead of me, and so it's not even going to go into a circular loop. It's going to fly straight towards where we're doing our bombing, and so that means we can afterburner pretty much until we're out of fuel, and then refuel, then break off, go and do the bombing run, and then have an air-to-air, and then come back and hopefully have enough fuel for that. And so that's the whole point of this, making it up as we go. And so what I've done is I've just shortened the distance I need to travel to rendezvous with the tanker. Of course, we will be able to use almost no fuel to get to it. And so that's just to make it quick and easy. You don't want to watch me fly for a half an hour or 20 minutes at full afterburner. We'll make it quick. And so we're going to immediately take off, and then we will climb up to 25,000 feet, heading out at 30 degrees, and basically trying to then find the tanker midair, slow down, connect to it from a communications perspective, form up with it, and then the hard part does, we want to refuel, and once we've done the refueling, break off. And then if it hasn't taken us 3 hours to achieve this, we'll even go in for a landing. And so yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think what we'll do is when I get to the tanker, I'll start talking about some of the things that I've learned in Chuck's guide on how to approach this and try to do it right. It is extremely hard, and it just means that there are going to be many failed attempts, misses and stuff. And so the key is not to get frustrated. It's like many things, you just got to keep trying, and then your subconscious starts getting better and learning what are you doing wrong. So don't give up. Okay, cool. So we'll go to our little center view. And again, we've got chat up on the left side of screen. So when you join in or you're watching this, feel free to drop in a chat. I'd love to hear from you. Now, also, we are using a head tracking system here. So I'm not going to talk about it in detail today, but very simply, it is using my iPhone with its infrared camera pointed at me with an app that I paid for just 20 bucks. And it basically points towards me, it tracks my head, and then relays that through to a software called OpenTrack. And if you want to know what app it is, the app is called, sorry, I always forget it, Smooth Track. There we go. All right, excellent. And so we'll just quickly run a configuration just so that it centers up nicely. Excellent. And then we'll do this. Hang on. Center the view. Perfect. And so I've configured some of these buttons on my joystick to make it easy. All right, cool. So let's go. So we're going to immediately take off so that we get our rendezvous on time. All right. happy days. And this is also filmed at sunrise at 6 o'clock in the morning, done. Because of it being a little bit harder to do it at night, which is what I'm going to be required to do my bombing run, is going to be the hardest thing. I set it up just to see, and just to find the frickin' plane is hard enough, but then also to see the basket, you actually have to use night vision and so forth. So anyway, we challenge ourselves. All right, guys, let's give it a go. All right, so first thing we do, we salute, bring jet up to mil power, center our view, prepare for gear and flaps. Here we go. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. Yeehaw! Gear up, flaps up, and now we come around. We're not full accelerating yet. We're just going to first get our direction, wait for our gear to come up nicely. There we go. And then now we can go up to afterburner. There we go. And so a key thing that's going to be important today is trimming. And so if you're not aware of what trimming is basically you have the ability, depending on your flight regime, like the amount of throttle, the angle, even the air, your plane will either move up or down or left or right. And so you can basically push a button on your joystick, which is what I've got configured, which kind of sets the wing angles to a point where you don't have to put any throttle input to fly the plane straight. So right now I've trimmed it so that it's keeping an altitude or an angle of about 30 degrees while I climb up to my desired altitude. Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to switch to cruise mode, and we're going to use TACAN. Beautiful. And then while that's happening, we're going to talk to Jester and switch our radio.
All right.
To the desired tanker, which you can, by the way, you can see where my mouse is there. That's the tanker, so we can already see it. Keep an eye on our altitude. We don't want to climb up over 25,000 too much. And then because of the way these things work, we also want to start turning off our radar. So we'll go beyond visible range.
Roger.
Go silent. Okay, there we go. And so we've just crossed 24,000, so I'm going to bring the nose down. There we go. And then again, we're going to just trim our jet to just be able to hold that altitude nice and stable. Come up a little bit. Cool, and so we're still flat out accelerating, and you should still be able to see the tanker off there on the right. So we're going to start communicating with it. So let's just turn this jet a little bit to the right. To the tanker.
Shell 1-1 in field 1. Request rejoin.
Boom. And you'll see as we increase speeds.
Field 1, Shell 1-1. Proceed to pre-contact at 25,000 at 290.
Perfect timing for me. So I switch my air source to left engine, and that's because we will be fueling on the right side probe. And so if there's any air that gets fuel that gets spilled, it doesn't actually come into the jet. Okay, and so we've, unfortunately, while we were looking away, we came up a little bit, so we'll just trim our jet and come down a little bit, keep ourselves at that angle, coming down nicely, beautiful. Not too much though. Okay, let's bring the nose up. And then what we'll do is when we get closer, we'll slow down, and then we'll bring out our refueling probe, which, as I mentioned, is on our right side. Cool, but so far everything's looking good. Again, you can now see the tanker up there. And by the way, it wasn't really that hard to configure this to sync that up. It just meant that I reboot, fly, and then I go, oh, a little bit more, a little bit less, and bang, we managed to get it right. Honestly, it didn't take that much time at all. Now, one thing is just ensuring that we slow down in time. And so I have found that when it's about 10 nautical miles out, that is when you start dropping the anchor.
Traffic, 12 o'clock, 9 miles.
Cool. And so there we go. I've completely dropped fuel, thrust. And I think I've done it too late just looking at the closing speed. Problem is I'm too fast to brake yet. And so what I'll do is I'll pull the nose up a little bit. just to bleed some speed. Because I'm not able to use my air brake at this point. Still coming in a bit fast, so I'll pull the nose up again. There we go, air brakes deployed. Excellent. Alright, so now we are going to deploy our probe. There we go, probe's out on the right. And then when we're inside 1 nautical mile, that's when I'll start to communicate with it. Now you'll see I'm going to fly on purpose into its wake, and you'll start seeing this jet start bucking and stuff like that. Okay, so we're within 1 nautical mile, let's say...
Ready, pre-contact.
Ready for pre-contact. I actually think that what you should actually be doing is you should be forming up on its left side and then indicating that you want to pre-contact. Okay, so now I start focusing on trimming. Trying to have the jet fly itself without me needing to do anything. And so the moment I drop throttle, the nose comes down. And so that's a key thing, is trying to find a stable throttle and sync up with the speed of the jet. You see, 4 nautical miles and the plane starts to drop. And so I've got to trim the nose up. 3 nautical miles, so we'll take out a little bit of throttle because we don't want to get too close. Okay, it's hovering nicely at 3 nautical miles, that's good, but we are going up and down a little bit, kind of a bit of a porpoising move, so I'll trim nose down just a little bit, and you see what I'm trying to do is let go of the stick and see if the plane will fly true. And so you see now she drops down a little bit. Now, plane's getting away from us, so I'll throttle up just the littlest bit. Well, I want to be very patient bringing it into the basket. Now I've also, there we go, see plane's extended, so it's 4 nautical miles, so now we've got to put a bit of throttle in. I've also put the altitude of the clouds at this height, and so this means that it makes it a little bit harder. Alright, now she's extended to 5 nautical miles, so let's bring up our speed. And just checking our brakes are in. And by the way, make sure that you have your brakes, I found at least getting to this 6 nautical miles, 7 nautical miles. Just stop accelerating, dude. You want to have your air brakes very easy to reach because you are going to sometimes overspeed or come into the basket quickly. And so you just want to be able to push a button and just quickly lose that speed. Wow. Now, seriously, I'm surprised by how much this plane is now extending. Yeah, I'm going to play a bit of catch-up and brakes. Because for some reason, we've really lost a lot of speed there. And so again, this will come with experience, is being able to get that throttle setting perfect. Cool. And just be careful, you can suddenly come in really fast like this. See, it says 1 nautical mile and then 9, and you'll see it starts to drop very rapidly. And then you can very quickly find yourself in a scenario where you're flying past the tanker. Trust me to take photos. I've had to take a few stabs at this. Alright, so there we're coming in now. 7 nautical miles, 6 nautical miles, coming in fast. I'm going to stand by with brakes. We want to get below it, so I'm going to keep the nose down a little bit. 4, 3. Okay, deploying brakes. You can hear it in the background just to slow me down a little bit, get us into the pocket. And there we go, dropping brakes, dropping throttle. Hey, there's... Ooh, you see coming, it's still in way too fast, so dropping more brakes. Come on, slow down, puppy. Slow down, slow down. Jeez, how crazy was that? Okay, there we go. I can let go of brakes. We've managed to get the right speed. All right, and so now we want to have a bit of a wider view, and we want to be slow with our inputs. Really slow. Let's try and get... You'll see the pod on the left-hand side. And again, I'm not very experienced in this, but I've read that you want to keep that pod at the top crossbar and slow inputs. And so let's do this. Trim the jet. Hang on, stop oscillating. See that pod there at the top? Oh, slow inputs, man. Okay, now we want to try and catch that basket a little bit. Oh, you see, that's perfect. We're almost perfect. Problem is I've got a slightly sticky throttle. I really need to oil it again. And so you see now you start to oscillate, you start to panic. And so I'm going to brake and then release the brake a little bit.
Just a bit to the right.
Braking again. Releasing the brake. I think our throttle setting is now perfect for catching the basket. Okay, let's try and get calm. You see, it's so hard. Just the smallest little oscillation and you're out. And bang, just like that. You see how far away it is? It's crazy. And so it seems like as you get closer to it, you fly faster, as what I've found. And so now I've got to throttle up again to catch up. There we go. You see we're getting a bit of wake, and also these clouds are making it hard for us. There we go. Into the wake of the plane we go. Take throttle out because now it seems like the jet's really fast. Man, why am I making this so hard? It is really hard. You see, the problem is you're trying to keep small inputs, but the moment you put in a big input, you cause oscillation. Just trust your trim. I need to set trim to have finer inputs. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, I'm gonna throttle up a little bit just to start coming in a bit. See, I'm starting to learn to just tap the joystick in a direction, like I'm just pulling on it slightly, then see she starts coming up, so then I tap forward, tap left, bring her to the left. It feels like that basket's getting bigger. Okay, now let's straighten out the jet. You see a little bit too much. Nose down a little bit, nose down a little bit. And so what they say is don't look at the basket because the basket actually moves. Try and find a fixed part of the plane and fly to that. And that's, I think, where the practice comes in, because it's not as easy as it looks. And that, I think, comes with subconscious focus as well. Okay, let's straighten her out. Okay, so far so good. Pulling a little bit of throttle out. We're catching up quickly now. We still have this up and down oscillation, which I'm trying to be careful of. You see how she just starts coming up, and it's just a middle trim setting. I wish I could just have a half trim. Okay, and so there I panicked a bit. Try to straighten the plane out. Can't see the basket, but I'm trying to be calm. Just fly to the plane. Wow, yeah, okay, so maybe zooming out a little bit more is useful, they've said. Oh, wow, okay. And so, you see, my throttle didn't change that much, but just because I was off to the left of the plane, it seems like the wake it causes more turbulence, and so it slows the jet down. Fascinating. Okay, so now we're throttled up. Let's get behind it so we can at least catch up. Really, really tricky. But we're learning, especially these small inputs, like don't put in angled inputs. Left, right, up, down. Left, right, up, down. And see, now we're catching up very quickly, so now I've got to throttle out again. I think this in VR would also be a lot easier trying to sense depth. See, now we get an oscillation, so because we panic, yeah, see that I put in a sideways motion. Let's get across it. Stabilize, stabilize, come on. And she's creeping away, so a little bit of throttle up. And there she goes. You see, just a small little change in throttle, and we've lost the plane again. It gives so much respect to the people that do this day in, day out. I guess if you do things day in, day out, it becomes easier. Okay, so now throttle up a lot, and so again, we're now going to come in really hot. I'm happy with the stability that I'm able to hold here. It's not amazing, but again, this is not easy. Okay, see, now we're coming in really hot. So I've throttled down. Don't panic. Bit of brakes maybe, just to slow our in, down. There we go.
Just a bit to the left.
Yep. Oh, you see, and then I panicked and I oscillated. So let's calm down. Get the jet stable.
A little left.
I just keep getting this horrible oscillation. And it's just because I'm right in between two trim settings. I really need to find a finer trim setting. Oh, that's perfect. Just like that.
A little left.
Working on it. Okay, so we did push through there. That was a bit of a panic, so let's just chill out. And I kept the brake in a bit longer than I should have. Hopefully that doesn't cost us too much distance. Oh, there we go. Okay, so our first close attempt. And you do have to kind of run it into plug. But I find already I'm getting really comfortable with just slight little taps on the joystick. I think there's a bit of configuration needed here as well, for sure. To make the inputs that I do even less.
Just a bit to the left. Whoops, you almost had it, man.
Shut up, Jester. Why don't you come and do it?
Just a bit to the right.
Okay, let's stabilize again. I think I need to get my view a little bit better. Because what I find is I'm losing the basket and I'm not seeing the plane. Okay, so let's try this a little bit. No. Okay. At least the throttle setting is almost perfect, so all I have to focus now on is just braking a little bit and getting her lined up. Okay, here we go again. See, I'm oscillating.
Little right.
So, damn, it's not easy, man. Seriously.
Little right.
I wish I could turn Jester off for this because he's not helping. I can see it's a little to the right. And we get an oscillation again. No, I have to zoom out a little bit.
Little right.
Oh, so close! No!
Just a bit to the right. Little right. Little right.
Oh, come on, game!
Stay on target. I had to do that for Star Wars.
Shut
I had
the
to.
fuck up, Jester! I can't hear if my air brakes are deploying because of you, you chop.
Little right.
Funny. Okay, fine. Oh, that was so close, team. We're getting there. It's starting to be the subconscious control as well, which I really need. Okay, we take it again. Man, I am already sweating buckets. Damn, just tap the brake a little bit too
Just a
low.
bit to the right.
Oh, shit. Up. Stabilizes.
Just a bit to the right.
I think I'm gonna have to find a way to disconnect that because that's annoying me so much. Because I'm trying to concentrate, and you shouldn't be saying a little bit to the right to a fighter pilot.
Little right.
Whoa! You see, I panicked. I tried to selfishly just try and plug it, and that's a big thing they say, don't rush the plug. Just
a bit to the right. Little right. Just a bit to the right.
oh, so close again. So close again.
Little right.
Hang on a minute, team. I just sorry. Options, audio. There's no option to turn off Jester. That I think is quite stupid. How to turn off Jester. DCS, Jester sound. DCS. Let's see, you can turn off reduce Jester sound instead using the in-cockpit volume controls. In-cockpit volume controls. Boom. Cheerio, old chap. Okay, where are we? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Wow, amazing the plane was flying for so long. Why is there no audio completely now? Options? In cockpit. Oh, okay, so that's literally the, that's everything. So unfortunately, no. Okay, we'll have to deal with Jester. Okay, let's try and get this plane back in the pocket. All right, there we go. We got close there, team. We definitely got close. By the way, I probably should switch to green. Perfect. Okay, here we go. We try again. Remember, this is the hardest thing to learn how to do. Can you imagine doing this at night as well? Which they have to. Okay, we're coming in fast, so drop our brakes a little bit, slow her down. And the hard part is getting to the basket, but you also have to then maintain the basket. You have to keep flying in formation, so I don't even know how hard that is.
Just a bit to the left.
Sorry, something happened in my chat there. And I just wish I could half trim.
Just a bit to the left. Little left.
Oh my goodness. But you see, this is still not good because I'm kind of bobbing into it. I should just be flying straight at it, but
Little right.
that's because I just can't get my trim settings perfect.
Just a bit to the right. Little right.
See if I can just get this fucking plane stable. Smarter person. Yeah, never mind.
Just a bit to the right. Just a bit to the right. Just a bit to the right. Little right.
Oh, so close. imagine you're starting to run out of fuel and there's people behind you that want to refuel. That's why I think you want to really practice this till it becomes, you don't even think about it.
Just a bit to the right. Just a bit to the left. Little right.
Oof, sucks! Activate the brakes, damn it! That would be something very useful to have a little light on my HUD that shows me when I have activated brakes, because sometimes the audio isn't really perfect.
Just a bit to the right.
Oh, so I think that would have been a plug. See, I activated my brake, but it didn't activate.
Just a bit to the right. Little right.
I've even pulled out a little bit of throttle.
Just a bit to the right.
Sorry, I really wish I could deactivate Jester.
Whoops, you almost had it.
So, yeah, I can't set it on there. I can hear the wind resistance as I leave the plane. Interesting. Yeah, you see it gets quieter? Sorry, I just wanted to readjust my view a little bit. That's ballsy.
This basket just doesn't like us today.
Jesus. I'm trying to get a view that works. See, now I'm sitting way too forward. There we go. Maybe we should refuel on the left basket. Oh no, we've reached the point where the plane has to turn. Oh no! No! Oh, okay, fine. Fine. Hang on, let me mute. There we go. Frustrations worked out. So, there we go, team. As mentioned, this is not easy at all. And I felt that towards the end of it, I was really starting to, just get a little bit of a better understanding of how to control it and stay close to the basket, but nowhere near what I really need to achieve. Nowhere near. Wow. Okay. Let's drink a bit of tea. Get a bit of brain power. And we'll take it on again. Wow. The thing is, and again, I want to see, let's have a quick look here. No, adjust controls. So you see this trim up, down, left, right, and trim rudder left and right. But you see, what I really wish was that there is a half trim setting, because every time I click, it's literally, I've got this in between. Like if I had it just like this, then it would mean that it's just left and right and the smallest little up and down. But the problem is my trim is either making it do that or making it do that, which means I have to consistently tip down, tip up, and left and right. And so it's like if I had the finest little tip, but you know what? These are all excuses, and you know what's going to happen? We just have to practice, practice, practice. All right. We try again. We will get there. Says, remember at the top of the stream I did say there's a chance that this might not even happen on today's stream. That's okay. Then we'll just do it. Yeah. All right, cool. So let me just get my setup here. Good, 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 good. And throttle is all good. All right, let's get down into the middle. Beautiful. And actually, I want to just see something here. Ah, interesting. Okay, so what I want to do now, team, is I'm going to activate my heart here. Activate my heart. Activate, he says. I think this will just give a bit of an insight into, as I get closer to the jet, how that stress maybe starts to come up. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's have a look here. So gaming center with chat. There we go. So you got my heart right there. Roughly sitting at 77 at the moment. Okay, cool. Shall we? One second. I do think... Just put it on my shoulder. It's a little bit better. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. Yee-haw. Cool. Gear up. Flaps up. Yeah, see, we got a couple of people on Twitch. Say hi. The chat window's up there. Do a burnout, says the John. The John says, do a burnout. I would love to, my friend, but unfortunately, she only spins her wheels when I hit the aircraft carrier deck. All right. Got a bit exciting there on the climb, so we'll bring her back down to 30 degrees, I found is good. Yeah, there we go. So we're just using the trim here just to get her to settle. She seems to be rolling to the left for whatever reason. So I'm going to restart that. I've had this weird thing happen, and maybe, you know, for those who know a little thing or two about this, it's quite tricky sometimes to get the left and right trim right. And sometimes I've found that the plane starts to bank and I just put trim in, and nothing happens. And then all of a sudden it just dies. And so I found that the best thing to do is just to restart. How you doing there, Mr. DeJohn? Hopefully all is well down on your side of our lovely country. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. Yeehaw! Another key question will be, what is your favorite jet, good sir? The game's broken. Lol. So it sometimes happens, I found that you salute and it just doesn't take the salute, and you can then salute, and it just doesn't give a shit. Interesting. And I'm sure there are some things to change. The John says, choice, bro. Hang on, let me just transition in there. There we go. There's our lovely chat. All right. And so you can see in the mirror at the top, I salute, which means that I should be going. But do you see the lollipop guy on the left? He's got a green stick. There should be another guy or a girl that has a yellow stick in hand. So I found that it happens, and the only way to really get it to work is restarting. The John says, rest in peace, EB Games. Yeah, it's sad, man. So for those who don't know, there we go. So he's got a yellow stick in hand. So I salute. There we go. Cool. We should be good to go now. Yeah, man. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. Yeehaw. Love to hear from you, Mr. DeJohn. What is your favorite fighter jet? You're up. Laps up. You can see the tanker right in front of us, a little dot in the distance. John says yellow stick for the win. We'll get our stable there at 30. Alright, then we'll just come down here. We'll activate, switch on TACAN, and then we'll tell our friend Jester.
Roger.
Tune the TACAN. Beautiful. And then beyond visible range,
Roger.
we'll go radar silent. And what a beautiful view. Oh, we've got Muhan Madhu. Are you using a joystick? Yes, mate. You might have missed it at the top of the stream, but I use the Thrustmaster T1600M HOTAS setup without the pedals. I use my left and right for rudder. So yeah, good question. I am using a joystick, and yeah, it's not easy, but we are giving it a go anyways. Okay, cool. So we unpause. Oh wait, no, there we go. Unpause. Excellent. How's the altitude looking? Remember, we want to get to 25,000 feet. We're currently at full afterburner. Sorry for headphone users. See, the nose starts to drop as we get to a certain altitude, which is fine. And so we want to get to about 23, 24. And so we'll start trimming the jet to fly comfortably at this angle. But as our speed increases, our trim has to change. So there we go. Boop. Little right trim here. Little down trim. Okay, now you can see that dot up there. That is where we're going. So let's go communicate with it.
Shell 1-1 in field 1. Request rejoin.
Intend to refuel, and we're going to switch
Infield 1, Shell 1,
air
1,
intake to
proceed
left.
Pre-contact at 25,000 at 290.
Cool. And then we're going to come down on throttle. The reason why, if you didn't hear it before, why we switched to a left air intake is because if there's fuel that spills, the probe will be on the right side, so then it doesn't come into our cockpit, the actual fumes, which is quite smart. How fast are you going? The John? Here, let me quickly zoom in for you. We're currently traveling at just over the speed of sound, Mach 1.2, roughly. Coming in nicely, that black dot you can see there. Let me zoom in a little bit more. That is where we're heading. Okay, cool. So we've already switched intakes. Actually, I'm just going to pause it there for a second. I've got a checklist here. By the way, if you didn't know, I've got I'll quickly put it on screen. So I use Chuck's guides to give a lot of detail on how to actually refuel. And if you've just joined the stream, I think it's important to mention that it is in the Flying Jet Simulator. Air-to-air refueling is one of the hardest, most hated, and most frustrating tasks on DCS ever of all time. And it's because when you're flying with behind an airplane or on its wing, it turns air into a vortice like this and causes instability. So it's really not easy. Anyway, excuses out of the line. So what we're going to do is get our checklist up there, back into DCS, reset our view, zoom out just a tad, and unpause. There we go, afterburners enabled. You can stream in an Australian accent for the next 5 minutes. Oh yeah, mate. No, I can't. I've got too many Australian friends that will crucify me if I do that. But I can maybe do a Kiwi accent. We're flying a jet.
Traffic. 12 o'clock. 12 miles.
Okay, so we're going to pull our throttle out at this point, because we don't want to come up on it too fast. I know that John is a Kiwi, so I definitely don't want to embarrass. Hang on a minute. There we go. 11 nautical miles out. And I'm going to start trimming the jet accordingly. Beautiful. How far are we out now? That's something I also want to learn, is how to configure my HUD to show me distance. Because at the moment I'm just using the in-game sort of distance, and it's very hard to read. So I can't even see properly. So maybe what I'll do is I'll come down a little bit. Fighting the jet at the moment because my trim settings are not right. You see? There we go. Come on. I am your boss. You do what I tell you to, plane. And again, if I did this in daylight, it would be so much easier to do this. But because I'm taking things to the next level, we're making it hard on ourselves. Okay. So now we're at the sort of point where I can start closing the gap. Trim the plane. And extend our probe. There we go. See how the plane banks to the left, to the right as we extend the probe? Everything in DCS is modeled as real as it can be. And so obviously there's a thing sticking out on the right side of the plane, and that slows the right side of the plane down, making it yaw to the right. Can we hear your Chewbacca? All right, I'll give it a go. How was that? I must admit, it is something of a thing I used to do. Ooh, I must not forget to switch my plane into wing sweep bomb mode to give it stability, apparently. Alright, so it's 7.2 nautical miles out. 10 out of 10 says the John. I don't know, mate. A 10 out of 10 means it's probably the best, and there are many people who can do Wookiee better than I. I did actually own a little book on how to speak Wookiee, and it was one of those books you open up, it has a little sound box in the middle, and you push a button, and it had like a Wookiee trying to pick up a chick at a bar, a Wookiee in a board meeting, and then like the different things you need to say, and then you push the button and it would make the Wookiee noise. It was hilarious. I really enjoyed it. Alright, there we go. So now we're coming in nicely. And so now we have to be careful of closing that speed too quickly. And so I'm going to bring the throttle down. And so the whole time changing speed, changing throttle will affect the trim. Again, for those who just joined now, trim is basically on my joystick. I have a mini joystick, and basically when I pull it back, it makes the plane naturally fly. You see I'm pointing down, so now I click it down a few times and then the plane will start to come up naturally. And so it means you don't have to consistently fly the plane. You trim it to a certain angle and then it stays at that speed. So you see there, I'm trying to trim it so I'm not touching the joystick. You see it banks a little to the left, so we put in a little bit of left trim, center it up on the plane, and see if I've now got my trim right. But it will change as I speed up, speed down, get closer, and when we get into the wake of the plane. Okay, so we can speed up a little bit more because I see it's now starting to leave us. Again, with experience, you'll come in much faster, merge with it, rendezvous with it much quicker. I did slow down a little bit too early, but this is lessons we learn. And so, trim, left trim, stabilize the plane. Yeah, it seems to be holding fairly okay. I'm going to put in one more left trim. I just wish I had mini trims because, man, it's unfortunate. It's sort of... See, there's down trim, so look at the nose. It's holding pretty good. 3.4 nautical miles. I'm going to give her a little bit more juice. Let's catch up. And so the clouds are set at this altitude on purpose as well, just to make things even harder for me. And so it will affect things like my, you know, just you'll see now as we go over these clouds, it's going to affect the actual flight of the jet. It's going to rumble it a little bit. See how the plane starts to pull up? That's just clouds. Look at that. The John says, did you ever consider becoming a pilot when you were a Yappy? It was something that I was considering, but at that point I was also told that there's no point in trying to join the South African Air Force. And if you actually have a look at what it's become, and now it's quite embarrassing. South Africa used to have one of the, you know, sort of, not the best, but definitely highly regarded Air Force. Now I think we've got one jet in operation out of like 50. They're all just derelict because of a government that doesn't understand how to maintain things. So it's a sad story. Okay, so we're just checking our checklist. Everything's done. All right, here she comes, and now we need to be careful that we don't come in too fast. And you'll see as I take speed out, the trim of the jet will change. Beautiful. And then what I found just previously attempting this was that as I get closer to the jet, the speed of it, or the tanker, the speed of my jet changes as well because it runs into that turbulent air. And so I've got to consistently be careful that I don't suddenly fly faster, Because the moment I'm right behind the plane, my jet speeds up technically because there's slightly less wind resistance. Alright, so now we're inside 1 nautical mile.
Ready, pre-contact.
So we're ready pre-contact.
Return pre-contact.
Drone is deployed. You see that speed now suddenly comes quickly, and so I'm going to move into its wake. See how the plane's banking to the left? That's now the turbulent air coming off of that plane. Now, another thing that's going to be a little bit annoying is Jester, the guy that sits in the back of this jet, doesn't shut up. So when I get close, he's going to be like, a little to the left, a little to the right. That was quite annoying earlier. Okay, 0.4. Again, I'm not coming in too fast. I want to get this jet trimmed and comfortable. Right now she's not. She keeps going up and down. Oof, how that's shaking my plane. Look at that. Look at that. And also there's real wind effects. So basically as we're flying, there is actual airstreams moving the jet as well. Okay, we're going to speed up a little bit now because we're a little bit more stable. From the jet again because she keeps putting nose down. It's very annoying. There, the plane buffeting again as I move into the stream. See how the plane's shaking? But John, to go further into that question, in hindsight, if I could relive my life, I mean, obviously not in South Africa. Realistically, I'd have to leave school, move to the US or to Europe, become a citizen, and then become a fighter pilot. Absolutely. It's just something that I love. I'm gonna put a bit more. Hey, that wasn't me. That was purely the plane's wake. So I've put in a little bit more throttle just so that we can catch up to this puppy. Here we go. Keep her on the left. Whoa! Hello! But that's because of the certain distance we have. If we get closer, it should be less. Whoa! I didn't experience this before. Wow! Okay, let's get off of its wing to the left. Whoa! There we go. Okay, we're catching up now. I've got brakes set up, ready to go as well. Air brake. Trim nose down a little bit. Wow, look at that. It's still really not wanting me to fly straight here. Okay, 0.2. Now we're getting close. So I take throttle out because now we're in that sweet spot. So the jet wants to accelerate. You'll hear that noise. That's me applying the air brakes. Okay, and bring her up. Okay, so we've trimmed her out a little bit. Let's bring her up. And you see the plane's getting away from me all of a sudden again. Just because I'm not straight behind it, the plane slows down. So many things to think about at the same time, which is that's what makes it the hardest thing, right? It's committing these things to subconscious, trying to stay in that pocket. I'm gonna give her a lot of boost. She's running away from us. Sheesh. Whoa, look how it's just yanking the plane. I mean, I should just make these settings easier and have done it that way. There she goes again. How about you, John? You ever wanted to be a fighter pilot? Ah, damn it, so close. Just trying to see where the damn plane is. Again, I think this in VR will be a lot easier. I think I need to zoom out so I can see the probe. There we go. And off she goes. Let's bring her in again. How long have we? We've been doing this now for almost an hour, team. And it's probably not going to happen today. It's practice on air. What I should have done is done this for 6 hours off air, plugged multiple times, and then attempted it on screen. And so you guys go, wow, he really knows what he's doing. But I want to show that this is not easy. And if I get it, it's gonna be this massive eureka moment. Seem to have found a very good damn it, I'm trying to reset my view. See, again with VR this will be so much easier than head tracking. Anyway, let's try and see if I can stabilize her quickly. Okay, that's good. No, we need a little bit more throttle. And they say don't look at the basket, look at something on the plane itself. It's really hard for me to do that. See, oscillation, I'm panicking.
Little right. Little right.
See, I should be doing small movements, but then as we get closer, we panic, and then you start doing that. So hard, man. So many things you have to think about at the same time. Okay, we try again. Man, I thought landing was hard. This is next level. And this game is real. Like, if you don't get it perfectly straight... Oh, well, actually, I think in real life, the shape of the basket will make it easier to connect to. But I think this game is making it so that if you don't go in straight perfectly, she doesn't like it. That's what I just said could be misconstrued in many ways. Okay, nice. So far, so good. Coming in nicely. Bring her up a little bit. Left a little bit. Messing with my trim there, that was not a good idea. I've also got a sticky throttle, so it's hard for me to dial in that exact setting that I want.
Just a bit to the right.
Yep. Come up a little bit, please. Come up. Not too much. So I'm losing speed, so I'm trying to push my throttle up a millimeter. A millimeter, team. A millimeter. That looks good, though. Oh, at least we're keeping it fairly close. Oh, that's too close to the cockpit. Okay, alright. Lessons learned, so got to be a little bit further away. Bring her up. Oh geez, that far away. You see, the moment we move outside of the plane's wake, my jet slows down. And then bang, look how far behind we are instantly. It's really got to stick in that pocket. I was, however, happy with the throttle. Okay. So it seems to me that's quite important, is when you miss it, don't go too far to the left. Immediately try and bring it to the right. Because all of a sudden, you're way far behind like I am now. Oh, and of course, switch to green. I would imagine this also being a slightly easier thing to do with modern jets. Also, I'd love for my HUD to give me better data. But hey, we were so close though, team. That one point I was like, oh, here we got it. But I guess it's sort of, when you can't see this in 3 dimensions, it's hard to judge the depth and the distance. Anyway, here we go. We're in the pocket, as I want to call it. Slowly catching up, and that's because I don't want to mess with this throttle speed because it's almost perfect. Oh, be careful. Also, I don't have an infinite amount of time. This jet will at some point, the tanker at some point will turn to the left and go about its business, and then I have to restart. Oh, and see, then I'm dropping out. Keep it inside the sweet spot, otherwise I lose too much speed. Oh, so much brain activity. What's my heart at? Is that 93? I can't see. No, 84. Okay. We're getting better at being stable, but it's going to take hours and hours and hours of practice, I think, to get this down packed. And like I said, there are so many people who play DCS that just never put in the time to learn this. They skip missions that require refueling, and I am not going to do that. I want to take things to the next level. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, game. That's bullshit. I thought that was beautiful. Oops, brakes for too long. And we're out of the pocket. There we go. Stabilize. Try again. I don't know, team. That for me seemed like it was good. Like, in real life, it would have pushed it into that basket. Maybe I should get a video of showing how people connect to a basket, so at least on the stream you can see what that roughly looks like. Okay, here we go again. Ah, do you see I just put in too much input? Just a little too much. It's when you panic, your brain starts to make big movements, and I'm trying to do like these little millimeter movements.
Just a bit to the right.
Oh, come on. I don't know about this. Oh, that's straight through.
Let's try again.
That's bullshit. There's something wrong here. The game is now screaming. That was, I think, perfect. Are you kidding me? No. Okay, maybe I've been doing it okay and the game is just glitching. Or somebody in the comments can tell me why that is happening. Is it maybe I'm coming in a little bit too fast? I've taken more throttle out? Okay, let's try that again with less throttle. See, but our attempts are getting more and more frequent, more and more accurate, and that is progress. What the hell? Oh, that's right. You'll see the plane is starting to turn now. So I'm going to try and refuel. Oh, I wonder.
Ready, pre-contact.
I did say ready pre-contact. Well, maybe that was the mistake. I'm pretty sure I did say ready pre-contact. Anyway, let's try it while we're turning. Let's see if we can do it even harder. Got that little bit of throttle I took out. That caused me to now lose speed.
Good, you're in.
We contacted
I felt
him.
turbulence, I swear.
We contacted. Where is this damn tanker gone? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I know it seems stupid and simple, but the fact that we actually managed to plug it is already a step in the right direction. And I'd love to see the replays. I'm pretty sure that if I missed the step where I told it that I'm ready to pre-contact, egg on my face, because then we might have had that earlier. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but every time we're going to do this, every time it's going to become easier and easier. Like for me, getting into that basket area, having it there is now easier than it was before. But you'll find, and I found, I still panic. Like as I get close to it, my brain's like a little bit up and then I pull the stick and I'm literally doing like, I mean, what does that mean on camera? But throttle input, joystick inputs like that. Just going boop, boop. And you're not supposed to do it at angles. You go up, up, left, or up, left, right, down. Like these little things. And so as I'm coming in, I'm oscillating. And so I'm trying to stop the oscillation and then I push it down or up or something. Anyway, okay. All right. Let's try it again, shall we? Cool, here we go again. Salute Mr. Joystick Man, mill throttle. Let's see if we can catch this tanker quickly this time. Let's kick the tires and light the fires. Yee-haw! And we're off. Gear up. Flaps up. We start coming around till we get to 3-0 heading. And then we give her some speed the moment that gear is up fully. There you go, you can hear the noise drop down. And then full afterburner, thank you. And then we start trimming our jet down to keep the angle. So as the throttle comes up, the nose of the jet automatically just wants to go up. And so we have to trim it out. Okay. We're going into this mode. Cool. And then...
Roger that.
Beautiful.
Yep, you got it.
All right. Mind your headphones, team. Oof, such a beautiful thing, this. Okay, again, climbing to 25,000 feet. You can actually, I can zoom in. You see that black dot over there? That is what we're heading towards. But we're not flying straight at it. We're going to meet it along the way. And another thing I've not been using at all is autopilot. I do want to eventually start using it because you'll start being able to focus on other parts of your mission. But for now, this is fun. We're still at full afterburner. We've reached an altitude of about 27, so we've just gone over slightly. And that's alright. We'll bring our nose down now a little bit. And there she is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down a little bit. I think we want to approach her from below. And so let's go.
Shell 1-1 in field 1. Request rejoin.
In field 1, Shell 1-1, proceed to pre-contact at 25,000 at 290.
Jeez. Thought I had my trim settings right, but no. I think I will be attempting this again with VR just to see if it's easier. Okay, so we're coming in. So we're going to stand up.
Traffic, 12 o'clock, 7 miles.
Nice. Coming in way too fast. Unable to deploy brakes yet. There we go, able to deploy brakes at this point, that's good. We need to slow down a lot more. Come on, brakes, do your thing. Do your thing. Come on, I need more brakes. Okay, so we'll just wave at it and...
Ready, pre-contact.
Return pre-contact.
Alright, cool. Definitely hit that now. Get our trim right. Trying to get that trim into the groove. Throttle into the groove. One click trim to the left. A little bit of less throttle. That little bit less throttle seems to be, it was like a millimeter. Okay, so we'll add a bit more juice. Bring her back up. Those clouds would have had an impact as well. Yeah, she's escaping me, so double the throttle up. Like I'm moving the throttle this much, but because it's not oiled, it's kind of clicky, and just that little bit of a click is causing it. I feel like that's enough now. We should be catching it. Either that or we're at least holding stable. And this is all just practice. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, so we're coming in. That's good. The trim setting seems to be good. Oof. Got a bit of turbulence there. Ah, the smallest little inputs. Bring her up, bring her up. Where is this damn basket? There it is. See if I sit down a little bit more in my cockpit. I can see it. And this with an F-16 should be so easy because you have just this big glass canopy.
Little right. Just a bit to the 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 left.
Oh, I felt that was close. I felt that was close. Again, you start panicking. It's the craziest feeling. Your brain just goes, oh dear, I want to get in. It's like, shut up, brain. Okay, we try again. Now, I did say at the top of the stream that there's a good chance that I might not successfully do it on the stream. Like I said again, I could have done this for 6 hours before, made it easy, and then come on live, but that's not the point of this channel. And so I am going to have to, when this plane starts turning, I'm going to have to pull it, and then we'll do it again. But damn, this is not easy. And so I could speed up more to catch it quicker, but my concern is with the setup that I've got, it's so hard to find that Goldilocks zone throttle position. And so I'd rather come in nice and slowly, and again, it's practice. held the brake for too long. I should have a push brake set up for this. Just lost all of that speed.
Just a bit to the left.
Mentally, I'm getting exhausted now.
Just a bit to the left.
I know, Jester. Thanks for telling me something that I obviously know. Oh my goodness, yeah, really, really hard. Hey, look, we got a plug. That's quite the achievement. Look, Ma. One-handed. Come on, Jet, just plug.
Just a bit to the left.
Ah, fuck!
Just a bit to the left. You want me to reach out there and grab it?
Yes, please, Jester. Please. Deep breath.
A little left. A little left.
Too much input, so I start to oscillate. It's all in my head, man. It's all in my head. Like, I just, at the last second, I just stopped flying the damn jet and I just panic. Practice, practice, practice. Stay calm.
Little right.
Stay calm. Practice. See, now I start to have
Little
these
right.
really crazy oscillations. And my joystick keeps
Little
lifting
left.
up. Ah, damn it. Okay, the plane's gonna start turning soon, so if it's now or never. Small inputs.
Little right. Little right. Little right.
Straight through the basket. I mean, come on. Far out. Man, this is tough. Tough on air as well, when you know people are watching. Well, I hope people are watching. Okay, come on, last try. I know the plane's about to turn.
Little right.
Man, this game is cruel.
Just a bit to the right.
Man, multitasking. Because I'm trying to brake on, brake off as well. I think I'm going to change my brake so that it releases when I release the button, because I have to tap it twice to turn it off. And so when I'm concentrating on flying and I'm doing that, actually, hang on,
Ready, pre-contact.
just in case.
Cleared contact.
Clear to contact. Ooh, maybe that was the problem.
Just a bit to the right. Little left.
It says clear to contact, so let's try one more time.
Little left.
See, and again, too big a movement.
Just a bit to the right.
Too much movement.
Just a bit to the right.
Yeah, I'm getting frustrated now.
Return pre-contact.
Oh man, that's disappointing. Anyway. Far out, team. That was not easy. Okay. I want to swear, I wish I could tell you the emotions I'm going through, because I don't know about you, I don't deal with failure very well, and you always believe that you can do it, but man alive, this is not easy. It's like there's so much frustration. When you're doing this off air, not on screen, I think it's a different story because nobody's seeing you fail, but look, I will reiterate one more time. Chuck's guides. Air-to-air refueling is one of the hardest, most hated, and most frustrating tasks in DCS ever of all time. And so this is the first hurdle we fall at. We've been able to successfully take off, successfully land, and this one's the one that beats us. And after 2 hours of trying, I could do another hour, but I find that my wrists are hurting because you're so stressed, you're trying to claw into it. And so it's uncomfortable now, and my head is tired from so much focus. What I found with so many games where in the beginning you're focusing so much, you find yourself overstressing, overthinking. But the more you do it, the less you think about things, the less you have to stress. And so the easier it's going to get. I do feel that multiple times there, we got close to plugging or plugged. And I wonder if maybe I had told the plane that I'm going to plug, and maybe that it said pre-contact. And now one time it said ready to contact, and at that point I was not hitting the cup. So okay, we live, we learn, we're gonna do this again. So yeah, keep an eye out on my schedule. I'll definitely be putting this up for early next week. I have to do this, and I will keep doing this until we get it. And then when we get it, it's not even that. When you connect, at that point you have to pull throttle out, which in my situation is quite dangerous because I pull and it just goes click. And so then you've got to fly with the basket connected in formation with the plane for I don't know how long. And so again, being able to fly completely stable where I'm doing this and this and this, it's not going to be easy. But anyway, hey, look, this is what this channel's about. Taking things to the next level. I really appreciate you watching this. If you like this, which I would be really surprised if you did, but if you liked it, hit the like button. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you done this yourself? Tell me how that went. Any tips to give me? You know, I'm going to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to be watching a whole lot of other videos and seeing what am I doing wrong, trying to understand the trim settings, because I still feel that, and it could be that my joystick, the little taps I'm giving is I need to make it even finer adjustments, because I'm finding it goes boop, but then the problem is then you go up, and I think a delay in waiting for the throttle input to make a change, because I'm going pull back and nothing happens, and I pull back again, and then the plane comes up very fast. And so it's going to become that little tap, trust, wait, tap, trust, wait. But like I said, we'll go and watch some videos. We'll go do a bunch of stuff. But look, if you want to learn more, especially the schedule, head over to my website, nextleveljj.com. I try to keep that as up to date as possible. Tomorrow we're going to do things differently. We're going to go fast around corners from night to day, so we're going to have a bit of fun in a set across the Evo. And always big shout out to Stream Beats by Harris Heller. They are just the bomb, playing the cool tunes. Yeah, we're going to come back stronger. We're definitely going to do this. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic one. I'll catch up with you soon. Ciao.